When I met Ethan, I truly believed I had found the man of my dreams. He was tall, charming, and came from one of those rich families that seemed perfect on the outside. We met at a rooftop party in the city. I was there with some friends from work, trying to unwind after a long week. He walked over to me with a confident smile and offered me a drink. We started talking and didn't stop until the place closed. Everything felt so natural between us. He listened when I spoke. He made me laugh. He looked at me like I was the only person in the room. Our relationship moved fast. Within a few months, he was taking me on trips, introducing me to his friends, and spending most nights at my apartment. He said he'd never felt this way before. And honestly, neither had I. Then came the first dinner with his family. I remember walking into their house, mansion, really, and instantly feeling out of place. His mom, Margot, wore pearls and a stiff smile. She looked at me like she was trying to figure out what brand I was wearing, and not in a friendly way. His dad, Derek, shook my hand but didn't say much. And his sister, Vanessa, asked me if I'd ever been to Europe like she expected the answer to be no. They were polite, but fake. Everything they said felt like it had a hidden meaning. I could tell they didn't think I was good enough for him. But I brushed it off. I figured they were just being protective, or maybe I was just overthinking it. Ethan told me not to worry. They're just a little old-fashioned, he said. They'll come around. I believed him. A year later, he proposed during a vacation in Tulum. We were on the beach, just the two of us. He got down on one knee and pulled out a ring so big I almost dropped it in the sand. I was shocked. But I said yes. How could I not? It felt like everything I'd ever wanted was finally happening. When we got back home, we started planning the wedding right away. His mom took over most of it. She said she just wanted to help, but it quickly became clear she wanted control. She chose the venue, the flowers, even the color of the napkins. Every time I tried to make a decision, she overruled me. I kept telling myself to stay calm. I was marrying Ethan, not his family. That's what mattered. Or at least, I thought so. Then one morning, just a few weeks before the wedding, Ethan handed me a folder. I need you to sign this, he said. I looked at him, confused. What is it? He looked a little uncomfortable. It's a prenup. My parents just want everything to be in writing. It's nothing personal. I opened the folder and started reading. My heart dropped. The document said that if we ever got divorced, I wouldn't get a single thing. No money, no property, nothing. Not even if I stayed home and raised our kids. Not even if I helped him build a business. Nothing. I looked at him again. You want me to sign this? He looked down at the floor. It's just to make my parents feel better. You know I love you. We're never going to need it. I felt sick. It wasn't about the money. It was about trust. If he really believed in us, why would he make me sign something that basically said he expected the worst? But I was in love. I didn't want to ruin things right before the wedding. I convinced myself it was just a formality. That we'd be together forever, and I'd never have to think about that stupid paper again. So I signed it. And that was the moment everything changed. At the wedding, Margot wore white. She said it was off-white, but everyone knew what she was doing. She gave a speech about how Ethan had finally found someone who could manage him. Not someone who loved him, someone who could manage him, like I was some kind of babysitter. Still, I smiled. I played the part. I told myself it didn't matter what they thought. I was married to the man I loved, and that's all that counted. But deep down, something felt off. After the honeymoon, Ethan started acting different. He became distant. He stopped texting me during the day. He started working late. When I asked him about it, he brushed me off. One night, I saw him smiling at his phone. He said it was a work message, but he hit the screen the second I walked in. That's when I realized I had made a mistake. A huge one. I tried to ignore the gut feeling that something was wrong. I told myself Ethan was just stressed. Maybe he was going through something. Maybe I was overthinking things, just like I did in the beginning when I met his family. But when your husband hides his phone like a teenage boy hiding text messages from his mom, it's not just stress. I couldn't stop thinking about that night. The way he smiled at his phone. The way he locked it the second I walked in. I started paying more attention. And what I saw made my stomach twist. He changed his phone password. He turned his screen away when I walked by. He started showering with his phone on the counter, like it needed to be within reach at all times. One morning, I got up early to make us breakfast. I thought maybe if I did something nice, he'd open up. Maybe we'd talk. Maybe we'd reconnect. But instead, I found him in the living room, shirtless, talking softly on the phone. When he saw me, he jumped like I caught him doing something illegal. He said it was a client emergency. Yeah, right. That was the moment I knew. I didn't have proof yet, but I didn't need it. He was cheating. And the worst part? I had signed that prenup. Which meant if I walked away now, I'd leave with nothing. No money. No car. Not even the stupid blend I brought into the marriage. That was when something inside me changed. I stopped crying. I stopped begging for answers. I stopped playing the sweet little wife who waited by the door. If Ethan thought he could play me like I was dumb and leave me with nothing, he had another thing coming. The first person I called was Lena, my best friend since college and a divorce lawyer. She'd warned me not to sign the prenup in the first place. I didn't listen back then, but now? I was listening to everything. I sat in her office, holding a tissue I hadn't even used, just staring at the wall while she looked over the prenup again. Okay, she said, setting the papers down. It's airtight. His parents made sure of it. My heart sank. But, she added, raising an eyebrow, if we can prove his cheating, things might open up a little. I looked up. How? Depends on what the judge thinks. If there's a bad faith clause anywhere in here, we might have a shot. But we need proof. Real proof. Lena handed me a folder. Start documenting everything. Screenshots, phone records, receipts. If you see him leave the house late at night, follow him. If he lies, write it down. You need to build a timeline. Dates. Places. Everything. I nodded slowly. It felt like I was gearing up for war. But it wasn't just about catching him. It was about making them all regret ever underestimating me. For the next 2 weeks, I played the part of the perfect wife. I smiled. I cooked dinner. I asked about his day. I even offered to go out of town to visit my mom, just to see what he'd do when he thought I was gone. Sure enough, the second I left, I had a private investigator watching the house. Ethan wasn't even trying to hide it. The second night I was away, he brought her over. Her name was Ava. Blonde, tall, looked like she came straight off a fitness influencer's page. She stayed the night. The investigator got everything. Photos. Videos. Even a clip of them having sex in our bedroom. I mean, how could he even do this to me? We just got married. Even if it was really obvious he didn't love me, he didn't have the right to disrespect me like that. I didn't cry or scream when I saw it. I just sent everything to Lena. She called me back 2 hours later. We're going to burn him down. It turned out the prenup did have a tiny clause about acts of moral failure that could open up spousal support, if they could be proven with evidence. And now? I had plenty. Lena also dug deeper and found out that Ethan had a hidden bank account. One his parents helped him open so they could send him family money without it showing up in our joint account. That changed everything. Because now it wasn't just infidelity. It was financial fraud. He was hiding money. And his mom and dad knew. They weren't protecting him from me, they were planning for him to leave me. This was never about love. This was about control. They never thought I'd fight back. But now? I wasn't going to stop until I took every single one of them down. The night I got all the evidence, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't even feel sad. I felt powerful. I looked at the photos of Ethan holding hands with that blonde Barbie, and I actually smiled. Because finally, I had the truth. And with that truth came something I never thought I'd feel in this marriage. Leverage. I called Lena first thing the next morning. We're going scorched earth, I told her. She laughed. Girl, I already lit the match. The first part of my plan? Make him comfortable. If Ethan thought I knew, he'd start covering his tracks. But if I acted like the clueless wife who was still too in love to notice, he'd dig his own grave deeper. So, I put on my best face. I kissed him goodbye in the morning, cooked dinner, even bought new lingerie. He was eating it up. He probably thought he had me wrapped around his little cheating finger. He didn't realize I had enough proof to make his parents beg me for mercy. Speaking of his parents. That weekend, they invited us to another one of their awful family dinners. Their version of bonding was drinking $500 wine while casually reminding me I didn't come from money. Vanessa was there too, wearing another designer outfit like she got paid to pose. At one point, Margot leaned over to me with her fake smile and said, "It's such a relief that Ethan has a wife who knows her place. We were worried, but you've really adjusted." Adjusted? Like I was a dog learning to sit? I wanted to throw my drink in her face, but instead I smiled sweetly and said, "Oh, I've definitely adjusted. Everything's falling into place." She had no idea how true that was. The second part of my plan was public. See, Ethan wasn't just some guy with rich parents. He had recently started his own real estate company, and he loved pretending to be a self-made man on Instagram. He'd post those cliché quotes like "hustle in silence, let your success make the noise." Please. His entire startup was bankrolled by mommy and daddy. So I made a new account. Anonymous, of course. And I started dropping little hints. Nothing crazy. Just things like, "Funny how the guy who preaches loyalty is out here with his side chick every weekend," with some well-cropped photos that showed just enough. I made sure Ava's face was never fully shown. I wasn't interested in dragging another woman into this. She didn't owe me anything, he did. But Ethan? Ethan started sweating. One night he came home in a panic. "Babe, someone's posting weird stuff about me online. I think it's a jealous ex or something." I raised an eyebrow. "You think someone's jealous of you?" He laughed nervously. "It's probably nothing. Just trolls. But if you see anything, just ignore it, okay?" "Oh, I saw it. I posted it." Then came the final blow. Lena and I had been working behind the scenes to prep everything, the legal filing, the financial reports, and a full breakdown of Ethan's hidden assets. But I didn't want to just serve him divorce papers. No. I wanted to ruin him. So I waited for the company's launch party. It was a big night. Ethan had rented out a rooftop downtown, invited local investors, influencers, and of course, his whole snobby family. He walked around shaking hands like he was running for mayor. Everyone was kissing up to him, telling him how inspirational he was. And then I walked in, wearing a dress that made everyone stop and stare, including him. He walked up to me like everything was normal. "You look amazing," he whispered. "Thanks for coming." I smiled. Oh, I wouldn't miss this for the world. At exactly 9 p.m., I handed him a gold envelope. "Open it," I said. He looked confused. "What is it?" "Just a little something from me to you." He opened it. Inside, divorce papers. And attached to them? A copy of the photos, the bank records, and a letter from Lena listing every legal right I now had because of his cheating. He turned white. "What the hell is this?" he hissed. People were starting to notice. His mom rushed over, her heels clicking like gunshots. "What's going on?" I turned to her with the calmest smile I've ever had. "Ask your son," I said. I just wanted to give him a gift for the biggest night of his life. Then I turned, walked out, and let the chaos begin. I heard later that the investors backed out the next day. No one wants to fund a family man whose dirty laundry is all over the internet. Ava dumped him too, once she realized he wasn't as rich or powerful as he pretended to be. His parents? Oh, they tried to call me. Margot left a voicemail saying, "Let's be reasonable." I deleted it without even listening to the end. Because after all they put me through, after they treated me like I was disposable, I finally got to watch them squirm. And I wasn't even finished yet. After the rooftop disaster, Ethan tried everything to control the damage. He called me nonstop for 3 days straight. Left messages saying things like, "We don't have to do this, and we can work it out, I made a mistake." A mistake? Cheating for months and lying every day wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. Repeated. Intentional. And now, he was only sorry because I beat him to the punch. I didn't respond. But I made sure he got the message when I hired the best divorce lawyer in the city. Remember that prenup his family forced me to sign? The one that was supposed to protect them from me? Yeah, about that. Turns out, cheating voided everything. See, his parents were so cocky, they never imagined he'd be dumb enough to get caught. But Lena found the clause buried in the prenup that said if he committed adultery and I could prove it, which I had in HD with timestamps, then the agreement became worthless. It meant I was entitled to half of everything. Everything. His company. His inheritance. His house. Even the car he swore I wasn't allowed to drive. Ethan tried to fight it, of course. He begged the judge not to consider the prenup void. His parents even hired their own lawyers to try to silence me. But it was too late. Lena walked into that courtroom like Beyoncé at the Super Bowl. She laid out the receipts one by one. The photos. The text messages. The bank transfers to Ava's little shopping sprees. Even a voice recording Ethan left on his phone that said, "Jade's too stupid to ever find out." The courtroom was dead silent. And when the judge ruled in my favor, I didn't cry. I didn't even smile. I just looked at Ethan, and I blinked slow. Because silence says more than words when you've already won. I got the house. I didn't even want it, but I took it just to prove a point. I sold it 2 months later and used the money to start my own design business. Something I'd been dreaming about since college, but never had the time, or freedom, to do while playing the role of the supportive wife. Lena helped me build everything from scratch. We launched with 1 client. Then 5. Then 20. Within a year, I was making more than Ethan ever did without help from mommy and daddy. As for him, he tried to rebuild his image online, but no one was buying it anymore. The investors didn't come back. The company quietly folded 6 months later. His rich friends stopped inviting him to events. Even Ava dumped him again, for good this time, when she found out he was living in a rented condo using a borrowed car. The internet never forgot either. That anonymous Instagram account? Still running. Still spilling tea. Still casually reminding people who Ethan really is every few months when he tries to rebrand himself. His mother, Margot, ran into me once at a gallery opening. I was there showcasing one of my clients' new homes. She was probably hoping to shame me. Instead, she stood there stunned while people congratulated me for my success. She tried to fake a smile. "You really bounced back nicely." I turned to her and said, "I didn't bounce back. I leveled up." And then I walked away. Again. I've learned a lot through all of this. I learned that silence can be louder than screaming. That not all revenge is loud or messy. Sometimes, it's cold, classy, and perfectly timed. I learned that people will underestimate you on purpose. Some will even try to trap you in a life that benefits them while draining you. But the moment you stop playing small, you become a threat. And I became very threatening. But most importantly, I learned that being underestimated is your greatest weapon. Because when they don't see you coming, they don't realize they've already lost. Today, I sleep better than I ever did in that mansion. I wake up every morning in my own apartment, my own space, designed by me, paid for by me, and protected by boundaries that I now refuse to lower for anyone. Ethan? I don't think about him much anymore. But every now and then, I get a text from a random number begging for a second chance. I don't respond. Sometimes revenge isn't about hurting them back, it's about building a life so good, they can't even stand to watch. And let me tell you, mine is hard to look away from. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love hearing them. See you next time with another story.